Good evening and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the undeniable vixen, your host, and of course, they are not like us. Thoroughly enjoy the Kendrick Bowl. I don't do anything. Football goes right over my head, but the Kendrick Bowl was amazing. I can't wait to dissect that and get all those little goodies and nuggets that maybe I missed. So I'm going to be looking at that a couple of times as I prepare for May when I go and see him live. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into beer news. So let's see, where do we start? Uh, Oak Park Brewing. They are having their Black History Month, and these are a couple of the events. I wasn't able to get everything on there, but on the 14th, they're going to have People's Beer and Celebration Arts and Fences. They're going to have a BHM art show on the 16th, and then on the 21st, they're going to have a BHM release and I guess a beer release at the Kings game. So that's going to be kind of cool. So if you're in the Sacramento area, check them out. Friend of the show, and oddly enough, we have some guests that you may recognize from Vine Street Brewing, and this is Annie. Got a chance to meet her in person when I went to uh, their um, their anniversary party, and so they're getting ready to. There's a couple of women that are in the craft industry. They're getting ready to have like a symposium in DC. And this panel is going to be on March the 4th between 6:30 to 9:30. There is a cost, but it's going to be well worth it because those proceeds are going to go to the Michael Jackson Foundation. And as I put on my other hat for Lifting Lucy, we were proud to help uh, assist with Annie getting to that location. So Lifting Lucy is a BIWOC nonprofit organization that helps BIPOC women and non-binary people that are in the craft beer community. Basically, when you have something that is going on, let us know because we try to get those funds to make sure that you can get to those places. So shout out to Lifting Lucy. Thank you so much, Ashley and Angie, for helping us out with that. Then we have, oh, it was a couple of things. This is going to be I guess, my love song to Liquid Intrusion because they are doing so many things. So one thing that they're going to be doing is a beer dinner on the 18th, 5 beers, 4 courses for $75. And all of these I'm mentioning will be on Liquid Intrusions if you get their newsletter as well as their IG in the links. You'll be able to go to that. Then they're going to have bikes, bites, and bowl liquid. Liquid Intrusion, they're going to be doing beer mosas, and that's going to be on the 15th, this coming Sunday from 12 to 5. Check them out on their Instagram. And congratulations to Drew. He has become one of the newest board members for Maryland's Beer Association. So putting that little bit of color in there. So I'm really excited for him that he's going to be able to do that. And he is very vocal, and I know he's going to do amazing things with that. So I also wanted to talk about CiderCon. CiderCon, I was there last week. Not 5 degrees cold, but 50 degrees cold, which I will definitely take. Um, I had a wonderful time. And of course, I roomed with Hannah Dope, just a young kid from Youngstown, Ohio, if you don't know. And I had so much cider, and I did not realize. I think my thought process as far as cider was Angry Orchard. And just like in the beer community, um, when people say, "Oh, I just thought it was just Miller Lite," that's the best way I can describe it. some nice dry or fruity notes. I had an amazing chai cider that I went back and got more than one share of that. And one thing that accumulated was a BIPOC dinner that we had, 5 courses, and people of color that are in the cider industry. And we got to sample their wares along with a nice pairing at Bronzeville Winery and Restaurant, which was really, really great. That was really, really great. And these are some pictures of some folks that were at CiderCon. Ronaldo, if you don't know him, he's our mead maker, and he just met Ren, who is on the other end. Uh, at the very right, she is also a mead maker. So I was like, y'all got to meet each other. So that was really cool to do that. And one other thing that I did was I had a lot of side quests. So one side quest that I did not know that I was going to be able to do that I did do, which was go to the Moores Brewery and Diversity House. They had their grand opening, and so I was able to be a part of the ribbon cutting ceremony. So that was really, really great. So here's me making a cheers there, and then they did a little. So got to be a part of their little blurb commercial. So that was kind of cool. And I also went to Turner House, which, if you are familiar with Turner House, they're also in Chicago, and all of their beers are named by their matriarchs, different flavor profiles that I've had been gunning to try to get them on the show. So I was able to kind of tug them and say, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of y'all. So I'm going to reach out to them. I got a better email address for them, but enjoyed going to those side quests. So that is all the news I got. So let me go ahead and invite my guest up. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Right.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So I am elated and excited to have all three of the guys from Vine Street Brewing. And if you have been living under a rock, you have to have, you would know that they are gunning for USA Today's top brewery in the United States, right? And
Definitely.
so make sure we're still voting for that, right?
Yes,
Yep.
to the
Okay,
24th.
till the 24th.
Yeah,
So we're still voting, trying to get them up to the top spot to make sure that they get that because it's well deserved. Um, if you don't know, Vine Street is in Kansas City, Missouri, and it is, I would say, a destination to go to Vine Street, as well as having those side quests of the rich history that's there. But I guess it's been the anniversary. That was 2 years, or was it 1 year? The
Yeah, so we
Kickstarter.
opened in June of 23.
Okay, okay, okay.
Mhm.
And what, as you look back now, and this is open for all three of you. What one thing that you could say to your former self? I wish you would have done this first. I'll take Kim
Man,
go first.
me, I get to go first.
Yes.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe just having anticipation that when we were hoping to open would take 2 to 3 or 4 times longer. Just kind of, really understanding how construction works and how, going through everything, and not having control over the things that you want is going to cause delays. But, in the meantime, we're pretty nimble. So it definitely wasn't a regret, but it would be nice to be able to kind of have that foresight and know how to plan for it.
Okay. What do you think? What would you tell your former self?
I would probably say be cautiously optimistic and be patient. Be patient. I mean,
Hmm.
Rome wasn't built in a day, so the way we want to do things with Vine Street obviously is not going to be built in a day. But the person I am, I just assume that we're going to build this in a day, and that we're going to be superstars and rock stars, and you have to. It takes a special kind of patience to own a brewery for sure.
Okay. Elliot?
Um, yeah, so I think the one thing I learned, it was like trying to focus on monetizing the brand a little bit quicker. So we
Mm,
built that brand. I mean, and then like shout out to Kimmit, he worked with Whiskey Design and stuff like that. Like we really built a strong brand in the beginning, and we all recognized that we needed to build that strong brand. But I think one thing that I didn't know about, I mean, I didn't really think about either, is kind of contract brewing, attaching that beer to the brand a little bit sooner. We probably could have contract brewed sooner and then had liquid and product and had like a full package for a little bit longer than we did. And we did contract brew prior to opening, but I wish we would have made the decision just a little bit quicker. But that goes back to Kimmit's comment about having the foresight of a delays in construction. It was hard to tell. We thought that, we were going to move a little bit quicker through construction, but had more delays. But kind of wish we just would have made that decision sooner to contract brew, get liquid in people's hands, maybe have like 2 or 3 brands out there prior to opening, just so the package was more complete when we did open. Not saying we didn't have a great opening. The community came out for us, but that's just one thing I think that if we would have known, I think we would have did it sooner.
okay. So, have y'all started distro at all, or are you considering distro to local places?
Yeah, so we started distribution. We're in 2 states right now since Kansas City borders Kansas and Missouri. We're in both Kansas and Missouri in draft, but mostly can in Missouri. Some cans in Kansas. Very little though.
And how is that? How did y'all start doing that? Because that's one thing that eludes a lot of people is doing distro and knowing when to go into distro, how it's cost effective for them. What what made y'all decide to even go into that? Because some people do it and then they back out, or they just like, ooh, I don't know if I should have did that.
Yeah, I think we started just kind of based on necessity. I mean, so obviously we were opening up a little bit later, and we had the opportunity to start distro, which personally I think that was a great idea because it kind of got our fans starting to, know about us, know about our product, and I think that really helped us to that really bode well for us.
Okay, okay. And one thing I guess I wanted to know, um, let me step back a little bit as far as the logo. The wonderful Afro bohemian looking woman who created that design. Yes. And does she have a name? Does she have a name?
Yeah, her name is Maris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yes, because there's a beer called Maris, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Our
I was
pale
like,
ale.
I knew I was drinking, but I was like, okay, okay.
Hmm.
It's I've been asleep for a while since October, so I've forgotten some things.
Oh, no
But okay,
worries.
Maris.
Hmm.
Um, and did did y'all design it yourselves, or did you come up with that creation and
Yeah.
just give it to somebody?
I can kind of tackle that because branding is kind of my bag.
Okay.
So what we did was we had a branding exercise. First, to kind of back up just a little bit, if I were to, give you the short story, the long short, the short version of the long story. Essentially, we went through 3 rounds of graphic designers to come up with our branding. And so the first ones that we had were great. They just didn't give us a complete package. So we wound up going with a company called Whiskey Design. They're based out of Kansas City, award winning. They do, they do all the major festivals in town. They've done Boulevard Brewing Company. They've done several distilleries, and they've done some national brands too. So they actually reached out to us. I had worked with them in 2018 on a festival that came through Kansas City. I was one of the creative directors for, and so we already had a working relationship, and I knew working with them that they would crush it. So what they did was they did an exercise with us, and they gave us some questions that we had to answer about the brand, the visuals, but also the brand voice, kind of what the brand pillars were, what it stood for, and they helped us develop through that process and kind of synthesized our ideas and some of the feedback that we got. And one of the things that they come up with was a suite of logos, and so a concept that they kind of came up with, which I guess they didn't really know about Woody's history with this term, but they came up with these logos called the hip hops, which were basically beer glass themed logos. So basically the face of the logos would be beer glasses, and then the hair would kind of accentuate kind of the essence of what they would be. So they came up with one that looked like Questlove. They came up with one that looked like Diana Ross. They came up one that looked like Prince. And so those were kind of the things that we really loved about it. And one of the reasons why we went with them is because Maris kind of evolved. The concept of Maris kind of evolved from us just seeing that logo for the first time and really being kind of blown away by it. And so, one of the things that we did discover, at least for me personally, was on the journey was that, Black women discovered beer. And so we wanted to make sure that we represented that side of brewing, the brewing history, and what better way to have it with such a amazing logo.
Yes. That's amazing because that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I took a picture with in front of the logo, because I think it's really iconic for y'all,
Thank you.
and just to see it in person. So let me, I guess, segue, because you were talking about hip hop and made me think about music. So still want to continue asking you something, Kim. I want to know a little bit more about your musical background.
Yeah, sure. So I'm still a musician to this day. I've been doing music my whole life, especially after high school and college. Got into the local scene around 2013, 2014, and have been a hip hop artist, so rapper, music producer, band leader. And so I've released several albums, tons of songs, a bunch of Kansas City anthems. And then, when I worked at Boulevard in 2013 as a musician, I was looking for a side gig. So that's kind of how I got into craft beer. A lot of people say, like, how'd you go from musician to craft beer? But really, it just came from me needing a side hustle when I was doing music.
What's the name of the band that was playing at the event?
It was I think it might have been Brass and Bougie. Was it a really big
Yes,
band?
yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
Okay,
Brass and Bougie. Yep. The world's first hip hop big band.
that's amazing. So Woody, tell me a little bit, because I believe you're the sales guy, right? You're the charismatic person that will be going to those different places and telling them about Vine Street and how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Has that always been something that you kind of drew yourself to as far as being a salesperson? Because it takes a special talent to be a salesperson.
Yeah, it does, and the short answer is absolutely not. I never thought I would be a salesperson. I never thought I would sell anything. And Elliot Ivory and I, we were having a conversation just about, like, roles and kind of what the business needed, and who you're kind of talking about, a sales role, and I got the short straw. So so I was so then I became the salesperson. I think I think in this role, I've really learned a lot about myself. I really learned a lot about people, and I learned like how much I just love to talk beer. I love to talk about Vine Street. I just love to talk life. I think for me, it's not really being a salesperson. It's just
Mm,
meeting people along my journey, and maybe trying to get them to gravitate to our business.
okay. Yeah. Um, it's kind of interesting because, I'm a brand ambassador, so I'm always talking to people and being able to share that story of Vine Street, that, what it means to you, especially, being not only a person that is trying to get them to purchase something, but also knowing that it is, your baby. So I get that. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, if I'm being honest, it's truly an honor to be the person that is able to tell people about Vine Street, able to tell people about uh Kansas City beer, and just all of us in general. I mean, it's a true honor, and I do really enjoy it. I mean, I didn't know if I would, but I definitely enjoy my people time. It's great.
that's cool. So Elliot, I think we had talked, and hopefully I'm not asking you the same question, but being in the in the brew house, how uh how do you get yourself ready to go into the brew house? Do you need to psych yourself up, especially if it's going to be a lager day?
Oh no. First of all, lager's wonderful, and that's always a good brew day. The smells are always immaculate. Um, but actually most of the time, I mean, so mostly when I'm spending time in the brew house, I am counting yeast cells, scheduling work, doing taxes, or ordering materials. I actually, yeah. So we hired. So this was it's almost been a year now. She'll be coming up on a year soon, like in a couple months. We hired Des Jones, and she's our lead brewer, and she's the one that's been kind of doing the day to day grinding in the brew house, making all the beer. So I took a more of a back end role for the brew house, and just kind of focused on this kind of the strategic where the brew house is going, still writing a lot of the recipes and things like that. But really started to focus on what these like fine tuning the beers. And then I got, created a gross template for most of our beers, but then now I'm really starting to hone in. We're starting to do some more quality tests on the back end, take our time a little bit more. So it's been nice to be able to step back and then kind of just pick apart each one of these Vine Street beers and really see, where I need the extra salt, where I need to pull back on the oregano, where I need to, and just do all of that. So that's been helpful. And then kind of focus on helping Des create, repeatable and robust processes to make the best beer that we can make. Because we've got goals this next coming year to submit into more competitions. We hope to walk away with a medal in 2025, but we're
Okay.
going to start getting to the competition just for ourselves, just to prove it to the team that we can do, or prove it to and I say to us, like just prove it to ourselves that we can, make award-winning beer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with your as far as like the lineup for Vine Street, so you have your flagship. So is that because I know you have some that you kind of turn around. So what is your flagship as far as like
Yeah.
your standard that's never going to go away?
Yeah. So we have our three main flagships is Jasmine, which is our black lager. That's the beer that we first released into the market. That's the first beer that we got contract brewed and went to the market with that. And then Maris, which is our pale ale, which, that's a focal part of our branding, but also one of our favorite beers that we make as well. Just a simple pale malt and Sabro hop pale ale. So very simple. And then E71, which is our cream ale, which we're starting to put a lot more energy into that brand. Started doing that at the end of 24. And then this year in 2025, Still refining that beer and trying to create like just a perfect cream ale. So E71 is our cream ale, trying to create just like a perfect lawnmower, like sporting game beer, just kind of a everyday type beer for the everyday person.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me talk about the building a little bit more. It's a big building. It used to be the water department. Is that
The
correct?
street department.
The street
Street department, yeah.
department. Okay. Okay. So as y'all dream, because I know you have the brewery and everything, but it's a really big space. What would you like to do, say, 5 to 10 years from now? What would you like to add onto it or change to the structure at all? I mean, I know you can't do a whole lot because it's like a landmark, but what would you like to do? Anybody can answer.
I
Okay.
mean, since
I was
since
like,
we're waiting on them, I think the first thing we would love to get is a food partner. That'd be wonderful. So we're kind of shopping around the space to get someone who loves, passionate about the just as much as we're passionate about beer, someone is passionate about food, so that we can kind of complete the circle and the customer experience. Um, but other than that, I would love to get, maybe even have a few different food concepts like in the back, whether that be through containers, that we can kind of convert into food concepts, as well as more of like a permanent stage situation for events, and things like that, as
mm,
well as making sure that we've got shade on the patio to make it more of a beer garden. I think those would be great goals.
okay. Okay. What are your Elliot?
So we have this small courtyard like just to the south of us, and I would love to enclose it. Maybe throw couple of the lagering tanks back there. Expand a little bit of our production capacity where we can. We do have some room to add a couple more fermenters. We can like move around our grain mill and stuff like that. So that's probably the next 5 to 10 years. Would love to add a couple more, like 2 to 3 more fermenters. Eventually, add a couple lagering tanks so we can make some real proper lagers. But we'll see.
Okay. Woody?
I mean, I think what both of them said. I mean, I think I would. I think I would not really so much in our place, but I would love to see more expansion around us. I would love to see some shops and I mean that there's so much potential for the area to be so lively, and I would love to see that happen.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. Uh, One thing I think I wanted to mention was when I'm scrolling on Instagram, mind my business, loving Jesus like I do, I always see y'all have something going on. So I'm sure that y'all have a meeting. Who is thinking up these different scenarios for the music, the events? Who does that? Who's doing that?
So Kemet is he's the musician, so he's obviously the musical extraordinaire. And as far as like the private events, I mean, Annie does a fantastic job doing that. And I really think just like the rest of the events, I think a lot of that is just all of us just wanting to do fun stuff there and wanting to do cool things there. So I think we do a pretty good job of working together to do events, because we understand that like we want to utilize the space as much as possible, and we've always wanted to give our customers a fun, cool vibe. I mean, and what better way to do that than to just have like events, crazy events like an Uno tournament there. So
Yeah, you better have security,
hey,
especially if you have that new Uno that you do 100 add 100 or whatever. That's a fight. What's
Hey, hey,
fighting?
as long
I ain't never
as
heard of that. I ain't finna play that.
as long as my mother Blanche Bonds is not there, I don't think we need security. I mean, okay,
Okay.
that lady, she'll you drop one of them draw fours on her, you might run up out the house. You know what I mean? So
Man, I saw that I mean, I was just like, they made it's called Uno like death or Uno like unleashed or something like that. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's I think it's really great, and I absolutely adore the commercials. So I had that in my promos, especially for Hip Hop Red. That was playing for at least a month straight.
Nice.
So tell people about tell the audience about Hip Hop Array and how it came up, how it I guess initially started and how it was revived.
yeah, I'll go ahead and take this one. So Hip Hop Soiree actually started from a close friend of mine and I. This was I think 2017, 2016, something like that. Uh, a close friend of mine that invited me out for St. Patrick's Day. And I always know that like when he invites me out somewhere, there's a catch. There's something that he wants to do. So we were sitting at a restaurant. He was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing your own festival?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Let's do it." So they owned a wedding venue, the De Leon, and it was fun. It was a perfect fit. It was like super elegant. It was so different from what you would normally see from a beer fest. And it's always incorporated hip hop music because I've always wanted to. I mean, those are two of my favorite communities is hip hop and craft beer. And I always thought that craft beer, hip hop music, like it both is so it just flows. It's so creative, and I think like together, like it just builds some creative craziness. And then as we open here, some of the other team members that kind of started talking about hip hop's array, and I was a little bit hesitant and uncertain, just because like I had seen it one way, so to see it another way, I was like, okay, how is this going to work? And with Kimmett's musical vision, I was like, yeah, this is way more than I expected. I was pretty excited to see that. I think the biggest thing for Hip Hop's Array is I think that what I loved was like there was beer people there and there were hip hop fans there, and I mean there were some that were kind of in the middle, but I love like at parts to see, you know, people that just came there for the hip hop actually over there drinking, and then like something happened over there with the music, and the people that just came there for the beer was there. Like
Mhm.
that's what hip hop's array should always be about.
I can tell you that I like the intimacy and the crowd of the event. And the reason why I say that because I go to festivals and I had made a plan not to go to the normal festivals that everybody had been going to. I was like, there's more Black festivals out there that I can go to. And what I really appreciated was everyone that was serving beer, if you want to talk to them, they would talk to you. They would describe and have an actual conversation. Where in some festivals, it's like they're just pouring and they can't have that dialogue. And I really enjoyed that talking to the different vendors and the different brewers that may have come out and being able to have that dynamic, as you said. Like I think trying to get something, and then all of a sudden it was just commotion, and so it was somebody that was breakdancing. So I was like, oh, what's going on over there? So it was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was just perfect. And I have continuously told people, I was like, you need to go to Kansas City and check them out because it was to me it was just phenomenal. So and they didn't pay me, y'all. I really, 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 really like really, 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 really believe in it.
Nice.
I still have this like this is always gonna be in my house because that's how it affected me
Wow. Thank you
for
for the
beer.
feedback.
Yeah. So I guess we can try. I'm gonna try my best and see if we can play a little bit of a game. All right. We'll see how this goes. All right. Elliot, kiss, Mary, kill. Light work, hood saison, aphrodisiac.
All right, all right. That's tough, okay? Because light work is a kind of a new beer, you know, that we was kind of so it's like a new little child, but this is how it's gonna be. All right, Kiss Aphrodisiac. That beer is, you know, that's like it's a sipper. It's a one time, but you one and done. It's delicious. The coffee and chocolate meld really well together. But I'm not trying to sip that all night. So Mary Hood Saison, because that's a classic. Okay, it's just that's one that Woody and I created. We were actually brewing at a fire station that Kimmett owned, and we formulated that beer. One of our first beers, I think it might have been or second, first or second, I can't remember. It's one of the first two beers we ever brewed together, and it was good from the start, in my opinion. And then Lightworks got to get the K. You know, sorry, it's just what it is. Still a great beer. If you like a traditional pale ale with a little Mandarina Barbarian hops and little experimental hops, it's delicious. But it doesn't have the history like the other two have.
Okay, okay, okay. Kemet,
Yep.
Afrobeats,
Okay.
ska,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yacht rock.
Ooh. Um, let's see. Probably Kiss Yacht Rock, just because it's like, that seems like I don't know. Let's just put it like this. It seems like a one night stand. You know what I'm saying? It seems like, oh yeah, that you kind of nice, and then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, um, Mary, let's just go Afro beats because we talking about the motherland. We talking about the rhythm, um, and just that vibe is there. But ska, yeah, that's got to go.
Ah, okay. Woody, okay. What am I going to do? Mm-mm-mm. It's going to have to be
Uh-oh.
pizza, Texas barbecue,
Ooh.
and seafood.
Okay. Okay. You really put me on the spot on this one right here. Because if I go either way with one of these, somebody gonna be mad today. So I would say that's tough. I mean, okay, I would say I would say I would marry seafood. I love fish. Fish is I probably eat it too much, but I love fish. I would see, I could eat pizza all day, but you know what? I'm gonna give a little credit. Give a little credit. Okay, I would I would I would. Gosh, it's hard for me to say this. I would Kiss Texas barbecue. I'll say this: I've had some recently. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm sorry, y'all. It is not Kansas City barbecue. Don't play. Um, and I would. I don't know. I still want to kiss pizza too. I'm a big dude, so like I don't know that there's much that I don't like. But I guess if I had to kill one of them, I mean, it would be pizza. Even though don't tell nobody I just had pizza. Don't tell nobody. So
That was awesome. That was awesome, y'all. I knew I was gonna get you. I was like, I can't say nothing about Kansas City barbecue. I refuse.
I,
I know
I,
I
I had
thought
to get you
I
real
couldn't
hard.
believe you put me on the spot like that. I was like,
I thought she was gonna put Kansas City barbecue up against some Texas
she
barbecue.
already knew what
No,
time it
because
was.
it automatically be
Yeah.
Texas. It
Yeah.
automatically be Texas. So I knew that was not that was gonna
Nah, I
already
don't know
win.
about that one.
You know what?
Mm.
I'll say one thing. Hutchins barbecue.
Oh yeah, you
Uh,
had
so
that.
so I got family in Texas, and my sister brought me that. That 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 made me sweat a little bit. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to, I was still trying to represent the Kansas City barbecue. That was a pretty good experience. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, okay, okay. So, what is in the future for Vine Street? What's coming up? I know Valentine's y'all have something going on, but as far as like in the next couple of months, because one thing that you did that I really thought was amazing that y'all partnered with the library. So, what kind of philanthropy things that y'all might have in store coming up? Anybody?
I've been talking too much, so somebody else is up.
I don't know if we really have too many philanthropic things coming up right now, just because we trying to pay our bills. but but yeah, as far as that library collaboration, absolutely, like that's definitely an annual. I mean, I don't
Okay.
want to speak for Elliot, but it seems like it's an annual brew that we do, for sure. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
we
Yeah,
are.
I mean,
Yes.
because we brewed it. I mean, for last year was 150th year for the library, and so we kept it. I think we brewed it maybe 3 or 4 times last year. So we'll probably see it as more of a seasonal specialty release. But the
Okay.
library loves it. I mean, we love it. Customers love it. And it's still a really cool. It's a cool story. It's a cool collaboration. I mean, just how the whole thing came together. Um, it was a real organic relationship from the start. So from like the beer creation, um, which that was actually Woody's idea about adding the vanilla to like we're thinking of like an old beer, and then we came up with Kentucky Common. Woody added the addition of throwing that vanilla in it because it makes it sweet, approachable. And so I mean, just everyone's ideas coming together for that beer. It was a good experience, definitely, from collaborating with somebody who's not with another brewer or something like that.
Hmm. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
the other thing I'll mention is we are not necessarily partnering, but the American Jazz Museum's music venue, which is called the Blue Room. It's located just 2 blocks north of us, and they're going to start carrying Vine Street here and
Awesome.
for shortly, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, that is really great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, one other thing that I got a chance to sample, and Elliot mentioned it the last time that he was here, the prize fighter, and I can't think of his arm. Is it Armstrong? Am I
Yep.
okay? Yeah, so I got to
Yeah,
taste that,
Armstrong
and
Lager. Yeah.
yeah, it was really great. It was really great. Um, do y'all see in the future any other prospects that I guess maybe does the I guess my question is, does the beer come first or does the label come first?
Usually the beer. I
Mm.
mean, I think sometimes, yeah, I mean, most of the time it's like, all right, we're doing the beer and then we need a label. I will say with the Armstrong beer though, we spoke to um, Henry Armstrong's great grandson, and he was very supportive of that beer and has a lot of ideas. So there's definitely a lot of runway with that particular collaboration. I think he was working on a movie and a boxing match, and some other great things. Like he's connected with like Mike Tyson and a bunch of other boxers who were really respected. Mr. Armstrong. So there's definitely a lot of runway with that one. And definitely don't want to lose sight of that. And I love doing collaborations like this because I'm kind of a history nerd sometimes. So especially Black history, like I like to unearth these kind of invisible histories that are forgotten and bringing them back to life. So yeah, super excited about that.
Definitely. There's this, we have such a wealth of information and history that, we during Black History Month, they usually kind of drag out the normal, which is fine, but it's those little stories that you don't know about that just makes it so rich and so interesting, especially when it's in your own backyard. So yeah. Well, I think that's really all the questions that I have for y'all tonight. I had an amazing time talking to y'all. And again, Vine Street Brewing, this is a team of amazing fellows. And then there's two other BIPOC women that are also part of the team. So it's a big collaboration of people that are at Vine Street. And so you definitely want to check them out sometime very, very, very soon. Make this a destination trip. So before I go, I want to say my goodnights, but y'all hang on and we'll go ahead and check out for the evening.
Hey, let me get a jazz man, please.
Oh, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Hey, man, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, man, you got a date?
A date? No, I don't have a date. For what?
For the Sweetheart Dance.
The Sweetheart Dance? What's that?
Man, that's the dance here, February 13th, 6 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, man, a date.
All right, 3, 6, 9. Dang, girl, fine.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, that's what's up, bro.
Yeah, you got that, though?
Nah, I'm gonna get one, though. How much it cost?
It's $5 for singles.
Okay.
$10 for a couple. It's nothing.
Oh, that's light work, bro.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I've been looking for something to do anyway, so.
Yeah, but now you just got to figure out a date.
Okay, well, let me figure out my date.
You just got to figure out a date.